We now will look at the video by Mr. David Atkin, CEO of Principles for Responsible Investment. The title of his presentation is ESG Reporting Trends and an Overview. Let me introduce to you Mr. David Atkins. He is the CEO of PRI, an international organization that was established mainly led by the United Nations in order to improve the climate for ESG investment. Previously, he served as the CEO of Superannuation Fund, which has memberships including workers in the construction industry and local governments. Thereafter, he served as the Deputy CEO of AMP Capital, a large asset manager in Australia, and has been serving the current position since December 2021. He was also a board member of PRI from 2009 to 2015. Let us enjoy his video message.
Hello everyone. Thank you to the organisers of the Tokyo Sustainable Finance Forum for inviting me to speak with you today. I'm David Atkin, CEO of the Principles for Responsible Investment. PRI has a proud history in Japan. I'm very pleased to say we now have 7 Tokyo-based colleagues working with us in this important market. We also have almost 120 Japanese investor signatories, so I'm delighted to join you today, and it's a good moment to share this update with you. Reporting is a critical aspect of responsible investment. It provides accountability and transparency. It also allows for evaluation and improvement of RI practices. At the PRI, reporting and assessment is one of our core offerings to our more than 5,000 investor signatories. As many of you will be aware, across countries and jurisdictions, the external reporting environment is evolving. This led PRI to conduct an in-depth review of ESG reporting landscape for investors. I'd like to take this opportunity today to share with you insights from this review. The reporting landscape has changed dramatically since the PRI launched our reporting and assessment framework back in 2006. Our recent review looked at investor reporting instruments across 5 global initiatives and 9 key jurisdictions. I'd like to share 4 key trends we see in this area. Firstly, investment-related ESG reporting requirements are growing. The number of ESG reporting requirements on asset owners and investment managers is rising. Importantly, over 90% of these requirements call for reporting that's publicly accessible or directly reported to investors in a financial product. This increase mirrors an increase in corporate ESG reporting rules. We recognise that for larger investors, this may lead to significant additional reporting. However, the number of regulations on ESG reporting varies significantly between jurisdictions. Here in the Asia-Pacific region, Hong Kong is an example of a high regulation jurisdiction. The market has accepted that considering ESG issues is consistent with fiduciary duty. In contrast, the US and Canada are low regulation jurisdictions where there is increasing pushback on ESG incorporation. The PRI continues to support responsible investors in these markets to embrace ESG incorporation. Secondly, there's a move from tell me to show me reporting. Initial reporting requirements had an emphasis on proxy voting. Requirements to disclose stewardship and proxy voting policies are comparable across most of the jurisdictions we reviewed. In medium regulation jurisdictions, investors are required to report their ESG policies and strategies. They're not required to report on the sustainability outcomes of their investments. In this region, Japan, China and Australia are all examples of medium regulation jurisdictions. In Japan, the increased ESG reporting expectations introduced in updated versions of the Corporate Governance Code and Stewardship Code are examples of this. Globally, there are moves to reduce greenwashing, especially for investment products marketed as ESG. Investors and fund beneficiaries are rightly pursuing for greater clarity on what their money is invested in and how decisions are made. Product providers are increasingly expected to explain how ESG considerations are reflected in their fund's sustainability performance. We understand that in May this year, the Financial Services Authority here released new supervisory expectations for asset management firms providing ESG funds, which seek to address some of these concerns. This is what we call show me reporting. Thirdly, ESG issue-specific reporting is growing, particularly on climate. Regulators are starting to require climate change for reporting aligned with TCFD. There are also voluntary investor initiatives. The Net Zero Asset Manager Initiative and the Net Zero Asset Owner Alliance are examples. Reporting frameworks related to other specific ESG issues are likely to gain traction in coming years. We've already seen this development on the task force on the nature-related financial disclosures. And there's also a trend towards reporting on modern slavery risks in investments. Finally, we're seeing encouraging signs of global convergence when it comes to corporate ESG reporting, particularly with the importance of the ISSB. But we're a long way from a global consensus on investment-related ESG reporting. Even in the EU, there are differences in how EU directives are implemented at the national level. What's more, the gap between low regulation and high regulation jurisdictions appears to be growing. At the PRI, our reporting framework is the largest reporting project on responsible investment. It's currently the only global ESG reporting framework for asset owners and investment managers at the entity level and asset class level. The PRI continues to assess our reporting function for 2023 and beyond. We want to ensure it remains useful for responsible investors and helps drive change in the market. The PRI also needs to maintain the baseline of a global ESG reporting framework in jurisdictions where there are no alternatives. Our intention is to deliver universally applicable reporting framework. It should be better aligned with jurisdictional reporting requirements. It should be able to evolve to meet the future needs of our signatories. We also continue to monitor the reporting landscape for investors to inform the future of our reporting framework. In Japan, we're encouraged to see the increasing attention that's been given to sustainable finance by policymakers and financial regulators alike. In order to keep pace with global developments, increasing regulatory attention to investor ESG disclosure requirements may be needed in the future. I look forward to collaborating with all of you on this important work. Thank you very much.
デイビッド・アトキン様、ありがとうご
Thank
ざい
you
まし
very
た。
much, Mr. David Atkin.